यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य
ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः सर्वोपप्लवरहित प्रज्ञान घन प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्माहमस्मि सोहमस्मि ब्रह्माहमस्मि। ओम प्रपन्न पारिजाताय तोत्र वेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। May the Almighty Sri Lord Venkateshwara bestow all kinds of prosperity, health, wealth and eternal happiness with Paripurna Lakshmi Katakshams to you and the entire your family and friends. Let us begin Bhagavad Gita. We are about to begin the chapter number 16. Om Shri Krishnaya Paramatmane Namaha. अथ षोडशोऽध्यायः दैवासुर संपद्विभाग योगः। श्रीभगवानुवाच अभयं सत्त्वसंशुद्धिः ज्ञानयोगव्यवस्थितिः दानं दमश्च यज्ञश्च स्वाध्यायस्तप आर्जवम्। Now after completing 15th chapter, this chapter begins with a different method of teaching. Now, the entire Gita can be classified into two subject matters. What are they? Introducing proper goal to a person. Okay. Then introducing means, an appropriate mean to that goal. So these two things are done simultaneously. As we know already, Bhagavad Gita is giving the message of Mahavakya. What is Mahavakya? Tat Tvamasi. Tat means that ultimate Ishvara. Tvam means you, the limited consciousness which is endowed with body, mind and sense are one and the same. That is the message from Mahavakya. Mahavakyas, there are four. Four of them conduct, means four of them communicate the same thing. Tattvamasi, Prajnanam Brahma, Ayamatma Brahma, Aham Brahmasmi. These four Mahavakyas we find from four Vedas. As the essence of the four Vedas, we just realize them. Now Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapters. First 6 chapter, which is called as a Prathama Shatkam, deals with Tvam Padartha Visheshaha. The subject matter of an individual consciousness is thoroughly discussed about. Then in the second 6 chapter, which is known as a Dvitiya Shatkam, or we call it as a Madhyama Shatkam, which deals about the world and Ishvara. The first, body and an individual consciousness. And then the second, it deals about the world and the collective consciousness. In the third Shatkam, where we are now, so it deals about the connection between the individual consciousness and the collective consciousness. That subject matter, which is completed with 3 chapters, chapter number 13, 14, 15, is nicely they concluded. Now, this chapter is a unique chapter. After having knowledge of the Shastra, what kind of life is going to be. Now, every jiva, it has got its own characteristic. Okay, characteristic means what? Its own nature. The way they live, the nature comes out. We call it a character. Every personality can be classified as a particular character. Now, character is an indication what kind of swabhava, the nature a person owns. Why should we discuss about the nature or character now? Bhagavan suddenly begins to describe the characters of these jivas. Why he does so? Because the goals were introduced in the last 3 chapters. Okay, the last 3 chapters alone, the main chapter of Gita. All those previous chapters, in order to conclude these 3 chapters alone, 13, 14 and 15. After classifying very clearly about the goal, what is to be. The goal is according to Vedanta, the last portion of Vedas. Now we have to be very careful, Vedas are divided into 2 portions. Do you know what are the Vedas? Are Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda and Atharva Veda or Atharvana Veda. These 4 Vedas have been divided into 2 portions. The first portions which talks about the way of life. Okay, and they prepare us for the knowledge which is given through the ending portion of Vedas. Therefore, the first portion of Vedas, they suggest a kind of lifestyle which will be conducive to the second portion. So once we understand the second portion of the Vedas, then the first portion of Vedas will be very beneficial and useful to continue the life with. So before studying the ending portion of Vedas, means before studying Vedanta, so the first portion can be utilized as the means for knowledge. Then later on, after attaining the knowledge, it can be used for the application of knowledge. What I mean to say, the lifestyles which are prescribed in the first portion of Vedas can be lived with as the not means, they can be adapted as the value of the life. That's what is introduced. Do you know what I mean to say? So the first portion of Vedas introduce a life for a human being. Nowadays, very few people are aware about the lifestyle which is prescribed by Vedas. Many of us are unaware because in our schools, colleges, these lifestyles were not introduced. Therefore, completely we are unaware about this lifestyle. Vedanta, it first introduced the lifestyle which are prescribed in the first portion as a means for knowledge. How can I develop? Therefore, that 5 kinds of classifications. Life should contain these 5 kinds of steps. First, Karma Yoga. The second is Upasana Yoga. The third one is Jnana Yoga, which is being divided into 3 categories. Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. These all of them, the last one is which is known as Jnana Yoga is called Vedanta. The first 2, Karma Yoga and Upasana Yoga. That is the life. Karma Yoga and Upasana Yoga. First, we adapt ideas from the Vedas. That has to be the life. Life means what? Once you are awakened in the morning, we have to apply, adapt the ideology, the lifestyle and the things which are to be done in our day-to-day life. It has to be supplied from Vedas. Then automatically our life will continue towards Shastra, means towards the ultimate goal. Now, lack of knowledge of Shastra brings all kinds of confusion. We don't know what exactly we need. I mean, the society which is confused about the goal, which is very confused about the way to the goal, means of the goal. They live a life without Shastra. The life without Shastra it helps you to construct a beautiful hell. That is what is going on. We dig a graveyard for our own sake. That is what is taking place in our life. But when we study Bhagavad Gita is a unique text which introduce the previous portion of Vedas, means which introduce Karma Yoga and Upasana Yoga, at the same time Jnana Yoga. So all these yogas were introduced in the first 15 chapters. From this chapter, Bhagavan introduces a lifestyle in which both are combined like a recipe, so in which a person can live a life who is packed with knowledge of the first portion of Vedas and the knowledge of the second portion of Vedas. He can be a complete person. He can be a character, the character which helps to the universe. That is the motto of bringing this kind of teaching. This teaching is very unique. Simply, if you want to understand what is the content of this chapter, these chapters, means chapter number 16 and 17, introduces the characters of the human being, the character which is packed with the knowledge of Shastra, the character which is not packed with the knowledge of Shastra. That's all. For that, usually Shastra classifies the human being into three characters. Okay, first of all, we have to be aware the goal is to be realized. Okay, then the means of the goal, which is in the form of lifestyle, is to be also realized. Both will help a person to construct the character. Now, Bhagavan is going to introduce the knowledge about the characters so that we can classify. That classifications are three in number. The first kind of character Bhagavan introduces, So all the content I am giving a bird's eye view first, because we should know what is the content we are going to deal with. Dvesha Pradhana character. We can see the people who are endowed with a character in which they always have the attitude of hating others. That Dvesha Pradhana characters, which leads to set a kind of Krodha Pradhana by the nature, Swabhava. Okay, Krodha Pradhana. They always want to explode, always. Because every incident and accidents, it causes us to possess a kind of character. Then by the years, it becomes our character. When a baby is brought up in a particular situation where everybody is fighting, hating each other, it will also get the same. That's what Dvesha Pradhana characters, which is said to be like a Krodha Pradhana, always angry, blaming others always. For silly reason, even he blames others, keep on blaming others. Then what? His actions always Himsa Pradhana actions. He produces the action, means whatever he does, there we can find Himsa. Himsa means what? Harming others. It's a danger character and they become short-tempered. But Shastra says Rakshasa Subhavavan. Do you know the meaning of the word Rakshasaha? It said Rakshanti Janaha Asmat. When you see a person who is exploding character and always blaming others and always hurting others, harming others, then people want to escape from him. Therefore, the person from whom people wants to run away, that person can be called, or run away means from the person the people wants to be protected, that person can be called a Rakshasaha. So for him, the normal life also is not possible. For him, there is no question of spiritual progress. This is the first kind of character Bhagavan classifies Rakshasa Sobhava Vantaha. For them, this life is going to be hell because they are going to have definitely downfall. There is no spiritual progress at all. It seems to be so they got this nature because of the upbringing of their parents, or because of the environment, incidents, accidents which took place in their life, in the friend circle, and the expectations which were not fulfilled with them. All together, Shastra says this is because of the continuation of the last birth. They are here with their karma pala. The karma pala has given this construction. They are confused about the goal. They are confused about the way to the goal, means the means of the goal, and they are very confused about their characters. They have the character which is dangerous. That's all. This is the first clarification which won't help for Shastra. And Shastra says we have to avoid this character. We have to avoid the lifestyle which he owns. We have to avoid the actions which he produces, because all these won't help for the spiritual progress. Therefore, this kind of natures also is introduced in the 16th chapter. Even in the 17th chapter, it is going to be classified in different way, because Shastra always it classifies about human nature into 4 categories, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra, and it also categorizes according to guna, Rajoguna Pradhana, Tamoguna Pradhana, Satvika Pradhana. Now here it's going to divide according to the character, not characteristic. Now it is said Rakshasa Subhavava. The second variety is people who are endowed with Raga Pradhana character. Who own Raga Pradhana? Raga Pradhana means that desirer, the people who are full of desire. They can be called like a Kama Pradhana character. This Kama Pradhana people, they don't harm others, but their expectations always with possessions and positions, money, power, relationship, achievements, more pleasure in their life. Their pursuit always is towards more in order to get enjoyments. And these people also are not clear about the goal. They are not aware about the ultimate goal. And this kind of people, they are good people. They are good people. They are good at character. They don't harm others. They are even responsible people. Okay. And they also take the responsibility of the family, but not turning towards spiritual activities or spiritual life. For them, spiritual life is only for the people who have a weakened mind. They say that I have to live by my earning. I should have money. If I have the money, I can live a happiest life. They don't worry about the ultimate goal. For them, moksha is not attractive. So usually what happens, these kind of people, they don't want to come to the classes, Vedanta classes, Bhagavad Gita classes. So wife comes to the classes, or a mother comes to the classes. If mother calls him and they will deny, see, I don't want to become this, religion activities. These religions, they bring always confusion. According to them, the religion means confusion, and they also conform with some incidents, accidents, it happens, some violence which happens in the name of religion. So then they took it as the evident. Religion never causes for any problem. If a religion causes for the problem, that is not considered as a religion. The religion, Sanatana Dharma, is not the religion. So for others, it may seems to be the religion, because the foreigners, they classify the lifestyle which we want, the goal which we want, and the characters which we give priority for, all together They classify this as a particular religion. They have their own style of life. They have their own worshipping methods. So the word religion is from the foreigners. But we don't say that. This is dharma. This is dharma means what? This is the suitable for human being. We are not with the narrow-minded. We don't say that only we have to follow, you cannot follow. We welcome always. And we don't rule. We don't want to rule the countries, means the world, through the spiritual things. Sanatana Dharma never accepts. Sanatana Dharma, it helps us to improve our personality, not helps to rule others. In the name of religion, ruling is not there. We cannot find in our scriptures. It never talks, you should convert others. You should expand your religion. Never it says. It says just understand world is mithya. The Brahman is Satyam. Ultimate goal is to reach the supreme knowledge or knowledge of supreme. That is the content. That is the content for the life, whole life. So where it comes about ruling others, dominating others, killing others, no himsa. So ahimsa paramo dharma, that is the foundation of our Sanatana Dharma. And these people, they are confused. They are not aware about what Shastra gives. For them, Shastra is an idiotic thing. For them, they are very happy. When mother asked him to come to the class, he would reply, Ma, you may go, don't disturb me. So I have a very clear life. So I should have a life that which brings security and pleasure. That is what. There is no moksha. So moksha is a humpak. For him, though he won't hurt others, hurt mother, but in his mind, all these mokshas are imaginary things. For him, life means to possess more happiness, more power, more relationship, more achievement. These people are the second cadre people, Raga Pradhana people. Okay, these people, so who are called Nastikas. You cannot understand why Swamiji is bringing this word. Nastika means what? These people are atheist, non-believer of God. And they have their own motto, life is to enjoy. But after 60 or 70 years, these people's life becomes like a hell. Because they are very much confused because of the incidents and whatever the incidents takes in their life, because they find themselves very weakened. At that time they are confused. If they have at least small amount of punya, they will just be introduced the knowledge of Shastra. This the second variety. The third varieties of people which we will see from next session. Now we have come to know two kinds of characters. The third character we will see from next episode tomorrow. Harihi Om. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.